Yeah.
This game is basically, you basically create life and go through all the stages of life until you become civilized, and then you create civilizations, and then you take over the planet, and then you go to space.
Yeah.
And then commit galactic conquest.
Yes. And just remember, whatever creature you make, you're stuck with that for the rest of your galactic conquest.
Yeah.
So whatever fucking abominations you can create in this game, which yes, you can make the worst things ever.
So this game has a fun feature where you can connect it to the internet, and all of your creatures get submitted into this giant galactic folder, and you can find other people's creations in game.
I just looked up Spore cursed images.
Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast,
a brother-sister duo
that talks about gaming.
And also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, sometimes.
Forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I'm tired. This is much later than we usually record.
Yeah, this is a bit of an unusual recording day. This week it was kind of rough. Yeah. I'm actually recording this right after Geek Addicts, so that's a fun fact for everybody.
Wow.
It'll be even funnier because that Geek Addicts episode ain't gonna release for like 3 more weeks. So, a little interesting fact there.
That's funny.
This one is gonna release.
Spoilers. Give us spoilers, Bill. Or give us a hint about what it's about.
We talked about Fullmetal Alchemist.
FMA?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Fun fact, this episode's going to be out in literally like 4 hours, so...
Great. It happens sometimes. We need to make a backlog.
We're going to film. We're going to record a bunch this weekend, but speaking of filming, we're back on YouTube. We're fully on YouTube now at this point, so...
Ew! We're YouTubers? Gross!
Not real. So fun fact, not like a day. So we have all 3 of our shows are currently on YouTube now. We have GNC up there, Geek Addicts, and the 3DO Experience.
And soon to be Water Bottle Facts.
Yes.
Podcast.
So we legit I'm
still looking for a co-host.
Not even a day after though, I get a comment on one of the 3DO episodes, and it was the most ridiculous thing ever. It was legit some guy that was like, so the comment literally was like, all that work to make this video, it only 14 views. Man, you must really want to be YouTuber. Good luck. Hope you make it.
I don't know, because how he wrote it is kind of mean, but then at the end it's
it's so it's passive aggressive, but also he's commenting on a podcast.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of effort went into making a podcast as opposed to a video. And also it was up for a day. The fact that it got 14 views is impressive, especially considering how small that channel actually really is. But yeah. So that's a new thing. So we're going to be having occasional video versions.
Not this one.
No, probably not this one.
Because I don't have any makeup on. And if Bill uploads it, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. But yeah, you can find all of those over at the GNC Podcast Network YouTube. I think it's YouTube / the Barber Who Games or something.
The best part is you guys can see it right now, but I'm just flipping Bill off this whole time.
That's what you'll say when I post this later.
No! No! Don't do that!
Stop it. No one buys your shit. Yeah. This week was really long, but also kind of it went by faster than I thought it would.
Well, I have to say this week went by so fast for me, but it was very stressful for me. And I'm very glad to have the weekend. And it's going to be stressful next week too, but it's fine.
But did I tell you about my shoes at work? The incident I had?
Oh no, what did you do?
My snow boots dry rotted apparently over the summer. So I was walking through Callaway, and the literally soles and like heels were disintegrating. So like it was just I was leaving a trail around the building of disintegrated boot. Like I lost my heel somewhere in Callaway, so somebody probably found that.
That probably threw it in the trash or turned it into a golf ball.
Kicked it in the corner. But yeah, I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Well, the boot truck should be going around soon, so you can get a new pair of boots.
Well, those are my snow boots, so I gotta get a new
Oh.
pair of snow boots.
Oh, why were you wearing your snow boots to work?
Because it was the first day of the week and it was still snowy.
Oh, okay.
Because that was right after, because we had the big snowstorm last
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. Apparently, the weather app said it's going to snow tonight. Mom
Yeah.
was telling me that in the car, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, apparently it's flurrying out as we pod,
Yeah, no,
and then
okay.
it's gonna rain like all tomorrow and be up to 50. So if it snows, it's not gonna be a big deal.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, other than that, though, this whole week I've mostly been just trying to keep up my exercising. Haven't really been able to play games because I've just been so tired or busy.
Yeah, this week has been tough. Like it's literally just been work stuff and then dance and then
Yeah.
work stuff and then it's like because I'm trying to think, when did I have time to sit? I don't think I did. I'm like really questioning it all now. I'm like, did I do it? Like, have I sat down and just watched something? I don't think I have.
I don't
Is
think
today
so
the
because,
day? Is today? Did the Attack on Titan come out?
yeah, that was the 7th.
Oh shit! I need to watch that eventually. I just haven't had time.
Oh, yeah, the dub for both.
I'm dying.
The dub for both Spy Family season 2.
I'm sorry.
The dub for both Spy Family season 2 and Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 finished today, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna start watching those as
I'll
well.
put those on my list too. Well, if you pick another show, actually, if you want to pick those shows for swaps, then I can pick shows for swaps, and then we can use those as swaps.
We'll see.
Look at that. Look at that. Us planning a podcast mid-podcast. We are great podcasters, aren't we? Wow. We're so good.
We'll have to see. We'll think about something. I gotta finish Rurouni Kenshin and start Attack on Titan because that's the next big project. I was joking with Matt. You know, it's gonna be really sad when I end up not liking it.
I don't know. I think it's good. I enjoyed it. And I mean, all of my recommendations to you have been going well so far. So
I know this one though is like the hype for it is concerningly
I will
high.
say, once I got especially into like the final seasons parts, the hype is real. It's real fucking good. And the story just like it definitely takes this pivot and you're just
I've heard.
and it really, I mean, I was always interested when I first watched it, but I'm telling you, once you get to that last part, like I was fucking hooked. Like so good. So
Yeah. I mean, I've managed to somehow dodge any spoilers or anything really about it. So
yeah. Honestly, I feel like with this show too, like with One Piece, like the spoilers are so hard not to see. Which meaning I need to get caught up on One Piece because we've entered the Egghead arc.
I know they've finished.
And they changed the animation style too again.
Yep.
Which I think looks really nice. So I'm excited. I was planning on watching that this weekend. Getting caught up on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna
do Attack on Titan too, so I can
have that
not
done.
have to have that done.
The wait is gonna be just getting me to finish it before we do that episode. So
Yeah.
we'll get to it eventually.
Wait.
But yeah, so for this episode, we're actually going to be revisiting
We're gonna talk about water ball facts. All right. Today I'm drinking a Poland Springs, established in 1845. I hope the water wasn't from there. That'd be a little concerning. This is 16.9 fluid.
You know,
ounces
water gets
still.
recycled, right?
500 milliliters. I know you poop it and you pee it out. No, just kidding.
What do you think a sewage treatment plant does, Alex?
It's no. This is 100% natural spring water, Bill. It's Poland
that evaporated
Springs.
from the sewage treatment plant and rained into the spring. Yes.
I'm not done. It's made better. helping to conserve the springs. You can scan this QR code for more reasons. Proudly sourced in Maine. Wow. And then it lists a bunch of different springs. And what are the nutrition? There's no facts. There's no nutrition.
It's fucking water.
Nutrition.
Your mic just gave up on that. All right.
Warning! The gap is a small part and poses a choking hazard. People in Bill Barber. That's what it says on the bottle. Read the fine print. There's no
Anyways.
facts. There's no
Good.
facts. I'm really tired.
Well, anyways, so
No.
for this episode, before she's completely unhinged, we're going to be returning back to one of our ongoing series. We're going to be doing another Games That Shaped Us. I believe this is going to be number 8. So yeah, we're actually going into more of a later game that we played on the PC and back in the wonderful, not great year of 2008.
What happened to you in 2008?
The financial recession.
Oh.
Everything kind of went to shit in 2008.
I mean, like, we were children though playing Spore, so I mean, we didn't feel it
wasn't
as much.
It wasn't a good time. But yeah, so yeah, as you just said there, we're going to be talking about Spore for this episode. You're really making me want to post this video, by the way.
You're not allowed. Wait, that's such a nice hat. Where'd you get that hat, Bill?
You already made this joke in the last episode. So Spore.
Spore.
Spore is an interesting one because this game's history goes back pretty far. Like the development for this game is like one of the probably biggest cases of development hell that Maxis ever went through.
Really? What?
So for those who don't know, Maxis is the company that created The Sims, famously. SimCity, The Sims, basically the Sims series of games. And Spore was their first major project after The Sims 2. So while they had transferred development of The Sims over to their subsidiary, the Sims Studio, I think is just called Maxis now. It's confusing, but Will Wright, the head of Maxis, started developing Spore, and Spore like dates back to like 94 of all things. Believe it or not. Yeah. So the original idea for Spore was originally back when like they used to do like the Sim games, like they had Sim Town, Sim Earth, Sim Ant, like Sim City. He had proposed the idea for a game called Sim Everything. And the whole slogan was your own personal universe. And it was kind of just a thing that he wanted to make. And it kind of just went through limbo for years because he would be going through all the different games. Like he went through Sims in that time, Sims 2, Sim Cities, a whole bunch of stuff. And the project was very ambitious and went through a whole bunch of different phases before the official announcement in 2006, which was, I believe, where Spore was finally revealed in a very early state. And then, of course, the game would then not release until 2008. So this game is over a decade old, and honestly, it still holds up pretty well.
Is it? It's on Steam, right? Can you play it on Steam?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I was trying to look it up and see. Because I kind of really want to play it now. I know I don't have my old I don't know if I have my old copy, but just looking at the title box, I'm just like, I want to play Spore. I want to play Spore really badly.
It might actually be.
Because I'm gonna laugh if this is on Steam, but you can't play Sims 2.
Well, no, Sims 2 is just like vaporware at this
Is
point.
that what
It's so
you?
hard to find.
No, so sad.
Sims 2. Spore is definitely on Steam, from what I can tell.
It is. Oh, I know what
Yeah.
I'm buying tomorrow.
Yeah.
Spore. It is. Oh, it's only like $20 or more. Spore. What's more Spore? More Spore
That's probably.
includes. Oh, it's a bundle.
Oh, it probably has the expansion pack and everything.
It includes Spore, Galactic Adventures, and creepy and cute parts.
Yeah. So basically, we'll get into it later, but Spore did not have a massive life cycle.
But yet it's still alive.
Well,
I'm buying that tomorrow.
It's probably easier to port over than
I'm dying.
say the Sims 2, which is outdated in terms of technology. But yeah, so getting into Spore now, I remember when I saw the trailer for this, I really wanted to play it because it looked insane at the time. And I remember because after I got it, you immediately wanted it after watching me play it for about 10 minutes. Because this game is right up your alley.
Oh yeah, I've spent many hours playing this game. So yeah, this is very much a me game, and that's why I'm probably gonna play it all tomorrow. Now that I've discovered that it's on Steam, so if you're looking for me, I'll be playing Spore.
Yep, I'll have to send in the cavalry on Sunday. Be like, is she alive?
Maybe I'll stream it on our server. I'll just be like, I'm playing Spore if anyone wants to watch.
Lovely. So yeah, Spore. This game is fascinating. It is. So the name Sim Everything really makes a lot of sense in hindsight, although Spore probably made more sense as a game name.
Yeah.
This game is you basically create life and go through all the stages of life until you become civilized, and then you create civilizations, and then you take over the planet, and then you go to space.
Yeah.
And then commit galactic conquest.
Yes. And just remember, whatever creature you make, you're stuck with that for the rest of your galactic conquest.
Yeah.
So whatever fucking abomination you can create in this game, which yes, you can make the worst things ever.
So this game has a fun feature where you can connect it to the internet, and all of your creatures get submitted into this giant galactic folder, and you can find other people's creations in game.
I just looked up Spore cursed images.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And this is the first fucking thing that pops up.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Yep.
I hate everything about this too.
So, if you guys could guess, Spore is amazing because you start out as a cell.
Minion.
Of course.
That's what I'm doing, just so you know. I'm gonna play Spore and make fucking minions.
Good. But yeah, so you start out as a cell, and basically you go through the cell stage where it's basically like a 2D kind of like game, like little game where you float around and you just eat to get bigger, and you kill other creatures to get bigger, and you basically survive and collect DNA to evolve yourself, and you can gradually change your creature by getting new parts and evolving, making it either more a carnivore or more of an omnivore.
Omnivore. Well, because you can kind of have, once you get into that, like, so there's that first phase of life that where you're just like the fish phase, I like to call it. You're in the water and you're just eating shit, and that's about it. And then maybe you're eating other fishes there too, unless you go with the omnivore route, where you're just going around eating all the algae you can find. But you really can't.
That's the strat that you want to do. Is you want to go for the omnivore. You can either be a carnivore or an herbivore.
Yeah.
You want to go for the omnivore though, because that lets you eat both meat and fruit.
Yeah, I would always go for the omnivore strategy, and then after that, your next phase of life is like you get legs.
Yes.
Get legs.
Once you get out of the water, your creature flops on land and becomes this bipedal
and the
creature.
animations, like whenever there's the phases of life, are just immaculately stupid. I
Well,
love them.
the best is once you get out of the water, you can give your creature legs, but you don't actually have to give it legs.
No, it
So
can just
flop around. You good?
Sonic.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, you can just flop around like as like your little like blob monsters that you create. The creature creation thing gets very in depth in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
Also, a lot of people just like to make dicks. So
That happens, but I'm like looking through now. There's so many people who tried to make Pokemon, which is pretty
yeah,
sick. There's a
um,
lot of really good ones and a lot
if
of really terrible ones as
if
well.
if you want to see the wonderful debauchery that can happen with the creature creator in this game, just look up the Game Grumps playthrough. That's all you need to see.
Yeah. It
y-
gets right to the point of
they make some absolute abominations in that playthrough, and it pretty much sums up exactly what this game is at times. But
yes.
yes, you go through that. You once you get to the creature stage is kind of like an action game where you just go around like, and you can either kill everything or you can befriend it.
Yeah.
It's
Or
easier. It's
both.
easy or both. It's
Yeah.
easier just to kill everything though. I mean,
I always so sometimes I would kill things, but sometimes I'd be like, that guy looks pretty cool. I want to be his friend, and I'd make him my friend. So
see,
I do usually a hybrid.
I try, and then they'd always get mad, and then I just kill them because
Well, because it was because you had to be strategic. So rather than like putting all the weapon like fighting abilities on your creature, you had to do stuff that was more catered to like the dancing skills and like the sing song skills. So that's what you would do. You would kind of switch them out here and there. So if I want to befriend some people, I'd put in like the la 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 friendship abilities, and then if I wanted to like murder, I'd put on the murder abilities.
see, you did all that. I just fucking killed everything because it was easier.
No, because the first time I played, obviously, I just went the I'm gonna kill everything route. But then eventually, I was like, well, no, I'm gonna try something different. So I would do like the all friendship, and then eventually, I just was like, just pick and choose. I'm like, if it's cursed, I'm like, it's gonna die. If I love it, it can live.
My favorite part about this phase of like the game too is like you actually get like a timeline of like your creature's life, and
Mm,
you can actually see it evolve as you've gone on, like all your changes, and like you see it grow, become like these different abominations over time.
yeah, I
Because like
love doing that.
you'll try things and be like, oh, this is cool, and then you're like, this sucks, and you immediately get rid of it, and you're like,
Well, and I always love to like just like there was every time you'd evolve, like basically make changes to your creature, you'd have to go through like this mating dance
oh yeah,
every time.
they rub up on each other, and just like an egg appears.
And then
That's how it works in real
that's
life,
how it
right?
works. And it was always so silly. And then when the eggs come out, that's like, oh, your new evolution is here. And they're always like so silly. I loved it.
Yeah. So basically, during this phase, you basically just want to either kill or befriend
Or
enough
be
creatures.
killed by the giant ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't go in the water too once you're on land because you get eaten by a giant fish.
I
They animated it. It's great.
don't think I ever did that.
I wanted to see how far I could swim out, and then a giant fish ate me, and I was like, oh,
That's why
you don't do that.
you don't do that.
But yeah, so basically during this phase, you want to just kind of like you either kill or befriend enough creatures
Kill or be killed.
to build enough DNA points so you can evolve the next phase of life. And essentially, what happens is
And as you go on, like you keep what keeps happening is like you build a nest, and then like eventually it's like, okay, you need to move on to a new nest, and
yeah,
then eventually you end up in that last spot, and then that's kind of where you settle, and then you kind of get to the evolution as
yeah.
well.
So basically, what happens is your creature develops a brain,
Yeah.
and they create fire.
in
So basically,
with a very silly animation as well.
I love the voices. They're like, "Arr!" like but yeah, so they gain intelligence, and then you've reached the tribal phase of the game, which at this
Yes.
point the game changes into a um like a RTS kind of.
Mm.
And so for this phase of the game, now your creatures are sentient and they have like abilities. So essentially, it's kind of like the classic RTS. You need to gather food to create more units, so you can either conquer or
Mhm.
make
A
allies
friend.
with the other nations. So fun fact, I would go from killing everything to befriending everything in this phase.
I usually make friends, but sometimes we would fight.
See, fighting was always more risky, and you'd lose more people. I just preferred to go do the befriend method because you just had to do a little
Mm,
rhythm dance game, and it was so much
yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
A lot of my plays throughs of Sport were more based upon me just not being couldn't be bothered by things, so I just do the easy shit.
And now, well, and at this phase too, you can't really change your creature at this
But
point,
you
right?
can give them clothes.
Yes, you can give them outfits because we're brains now and we got to protect the brains with clothes.
Well, it's kind of like this point is like now it's like so the way it kind of works is like you're becoming sentient, and then once you're in the tribal phase, it's essentially all the sentient beings are basically fighting it out to see who becomes the dominant species on the planet.
Yeah.
Because once you befriend or kill off all the other species, you basically become the lone surviving.
Survivor.
Well, you
Yeah.
become basically the dominant species on the planet. So then you transfer onto the civilization stage, where now like the entire planet is inhabited by your creatures,
Hmm.
and they have little cities. And now it's kind of like a strategy game again, but it's more like a kind of like an economical
Hmm.
kind of thing, like almost like a civilization game, honestly.
Yeah.
And the way this works is now you have your little cities, and now it's basically like you want to basically become the largest country on the planet. So you basically want to keep making allies with the other cities across the planet. And you have
Hmm.
different choices. You can either do like economic, like trade.
Yep.
You can just annihilate them in war, or you can overtake them in religion. That's a thing. That's hilarious.
Wow.
As a kid, I didn't realize that. I would always do the religious route because it was easy.
I think I did too.
You
Because it was
basically just
easy.
like take over with religion and just like overthrow their governments. It's
Yeah.
bizarre. It is such a weird social commentary.
Yep.
This phase is interesting though because now you can design your so this phase you design a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah, you can make a lot in this one.
You
Definitely
make
get very creative.
you make not only so you can dress your characters in their modern attire
Mm.
because they're all like this is essentially the modern era phase.
Yeah.
Um, you can also build your cities, like all the different houses. You can build your attack vehicles, your attack boats, your attack planes.
And you can make abominations as well.
Yes, brick car, my favorite
Yes.
car. Um, or just chassis on wheels.
Yes. Just stupid shit.
Yeah.
But it works in the game.
Well, because you get so tired, it's like I don't want to make this. Just fuck it.
Yeah. And I will say, like, whenever I get to the civilization phase, I'm just like, okay, I just want to get through this phase. And then I get to space and I go, I'm just going to start over. I never really play the space stage. I won't lie.
Oh, so you miss out on so much of the game.
I know. I never really play it. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, as I guess alluding to it,
Oh yeah, sorry.
you go through civilization. Civilization it can either be the longest or the fastest, depending on how.
I would always go so fast to get it
Well,
over with.
if you do the religion route, you can finish in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so fucking quick. If you go the economic trade route, it's longer because you have to wait for the trades to go through.
Mm.
War is hit or miss because it depends on how well your attack abilities are.
I think I would do war too. I'm pretty certain I did either religious or war because I remember attacking people.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah, eventually once you take over the entire planet with one centralized government, this game has some weird like social.
I know, especially because like it's a game for kids.
It's got some weird social commentary throughout
Yep.
it, which is really funny. But so after you finish Civilization, you get to basically it's really funny that
To the
about
moon.
this 60% of this game is the space stage. Like the rest is like everything else up to that point.
Yep.
Which the players because Alex never does anything with it. But
Yeah, but just know how I play games, Bill. How
I
do
know.
I play games? I
So
like the creating part.
space is kind of where like I think Will Wright's vision truly came, where you basically you create space flight and you get to make your own spaceship.
Mhm.
And essentially from here, you do a few tutorials like exploring around like nearby planets, and that's where this game's weird lore starts to come in.
See, I think I always got stuck on the tutorials, and then I just was like, I don't want to do this." And then I think that's really what killed it for me. Is like I would do the tutorials, and then I'd just be like, "I'm good."
Yeah. So this game has some interesting lore. Like there's like a whole bunch of races, including the Grog, I think was the main villains who are like the evil race of the of space, and they basically just kill everybody.
Yeah,
Um and you basically go from here, and you basically there isn't really any more after you do your first couple like space missions, you kind of are just free to do whatever at this point.
yeah.
You can do trades with other planets. You can conquer planets, civilize, like expand your empire of space, and basically expand, terraform uninhabitable planets to put um, more civilizations on. It's interesting. Like you can get pretty intense, like with all the shit you can do. Like you can befriend other ally. You can actually befriend the Grog. I think their name is. I honestly forget what the name of the main
It's
villains are.
Grox.
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 That's the Grox.
Grox.
You can actually befriend the Grox,
Huh.
but if you do that, every other nation in space will
Hates you.
immediately dislike you. So there's like no
Yeah.
reason to, unless you really just want to. There's probably I think there's an achievement for it, but that's about it. Um yeah, so you can go through all sorts of different things, like you make allies, explore the planet. You can actually find the center of the universe where you meet like this little like alien in a flying saucer, and he gives you like this rod that lets you basically automatically terraform any planet, which is kind of cool.
Huh.
um it's hard to do though, because you got to find the center of the universe. You can find the Milky Way. The Milky Way is in this game.
Oh, you can? That's
Yeah,
funny.
you can find Earth and like all our solar system. It's kind of funny. But yeah, you explore around. This game is it basically, once you get to here, it's like super expansive. Like you can find wormholes that take you all over the place, just exploring the reaches of space, and it legit doesn't end.
It's just endless. You can basically just kind of keep going and going and going. Huh.
I guess theoretically you could conquer every planet in game, but that would take you probably forever.
Yeah. All right, Bill. It's on your bucket list.
Yeah, I don't have time for that
Beat
anymore.
Sport. No. Do it right now.
I did used to play this game though, like religiously, like
No,
so
I
much.
used to too. Well, I mean too, because it was kind of like we played so much of The Sims, and it was just fun to have something similar but different, like very different.
This
Uh,
game has that Atlas charm. I
yes,
not Atlas, Maxis charm.
Max. Yeah,
Atlas Persona. Just um
Persona.
but yeah, this game has that Maxis charm to it. It feels very much like he wanted to do more with it though, and he just
Couldn't.
couldn't.
Yeah,
Like it's it's unfortunate, because I feel like he really like there was much more to say. And this game kind of like is what led to Will Wright leaving Maxis eventually, because it's just like they never quite had another winner after this. I mean, Sims 3 is a weird one because it wasn't technically made by this Maxis, it
and
was made by the other Maxis.
I think Sims 3 gets a lot of like shit, but I
It
actually
well,
I played.
it's retroactively it's much better received nowadays than it was back in
No,
the day.
yeah, because I remember I played The Sims 3 a lot, and I really enjoyed The Sims 3. I mean, yes, there was things I definitely missed about Sims 2, but I loved a lot of the design features of Sims 3.
Hmm.
And then the best part of Sims 4 is you can put furniture on an angle, which is great. I think can you do that in Sims 3?
I maybe in one of the
I
later
don't think
expansion
you
packs.
can in Sims 3, but I'm pretty certain in Sims 4 it was like you could put furniture on angles. Oh my god! Because like for me, I love stuff like that with the design aspect, and it brought me joy. Brought me joy.
Yeah, like there was a bunch of like stuff just over time.
Mm.
There was also a semi spin-off called Dark Spore, which was like an action role-playing game, kind of like
Dark
Diablo-ish.
Spore or Arc Spore?
Dark Spore. They didn't advertise this at all. It kind of
I've
came out.
never heard of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it bombed pretty hard. Like it was not a great.
Dark
game.
Spore. Oh,
You can't even play it anymore because it was online all the time.
huh.
Yeah, it's a
That doesn't even look like Spore.
yeah, it was like a very loose spin-off.
Yeah, because even like the character, but like that doesn't look like Spore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
It
see why this didn't do well.
yeah, it kind of was like the nail in the coffin, just like a lot of things just kind of went
Yeah.
going pretty poorly. Um but yeah, so going through some other things, like did you ever, so there was only 2 expansion packs ever made for this game. There was Galactic Adventures, which only really covered anything with the space part. It
I
just
don't
added
think
more.
I had, and maybe that's partially why I didn't really go into space either because I didn't really have the expansion packs.
Well, I'm
I
gonna say
didn't have either.
the expansion didn't really do much.
Oh, it didn't really do much.
Yeah, you could go on little adventures. That it was meh. There was
Yeah.
also the creepy and cute expansion pack, which just gave more items, but like most people were already in space, so they most of those items they couldn't even use.
Yeah, because at that point, I feel like that's like one flaw of the game. I feel like people would have loved the option to be able to change your character once you get to space because, like, I know
That's
sometimes I made creatures and then I said, this creature's fucking ugly. And maybe that's also why I would stop. I'd be like, oh, I want to start over with something better.
you'd get to space and you'd be like, I've made a terrible decision.
Yeah. And then I'd just be like, start over. And then I feel like it was a constant cycle.
Yeah. Um yeah, so this game the cycle for Sims was very, I mean for Spore was very short, but it
Mm.
had a lot of spin-offs. Like this game had like multiple console versions.
Huh. I know I saw a
So
Wii game out there, but
there was
I never played that.
there was Spore Heroes on the Wii.
Yeah, I
It
saw that.
was like kind of the same thing, like but it was much simplified. Like I think I might have watched a video on it, honestly, or I might have borrowed. I think I had a friend that had, and I borrowed it, and it was like I
Mhm.
was kind of like just meh on it.
Yeah.
There was also Sport Creatures on the DS.
I see Spore Hero Arena too.
That I think that was another spin-off.
Yeah.
Because Sport Creatures is weird because like it's like 2D art on. It's actually
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of reminds me of My Sims almost.
Yeah, that actually sounds about right, just looking at the photo.
Yeah, it's a very much another spin-off that wasn't nearly as well received.
Mm,
They actually considered putting Spore on 360 and PS3, but it never really got super far.
no. Mm.
The only
Spore
other,
Islands?
I
Is
don't
that a
remember
thing?
that one. I remember Spore Origins on the
Oh, I think this was a Facebook game.
oh,
Spore Islands was a Facebook game because it's
I
the
don't
Facebook banner at the top. Okay, that's
so I
funny.
remember Spore Origins, which was the mobile phone version, which was essentially just the it was a very simplified version of the cell stage.
Mhm.
It was okay. I
Yeah.
played it every now and then. It was nothing special by any means.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly a game that was meant to be played on your PC. I don't think it would have been great on any other console. Like, it just makes sense to have it on the computer.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Like this game I feel like had more potential. It just came out at a time where it didn't. I think the problem was they promised way too much and the game, while really good, doesn't
It didn't
deliver.
deliver. Yeah, it doesn't deliver. But I mean, I want to go back and play it. So I
Yeah,
guess it did.
it's
It definitely hooked people because I definitely looking at it now. I just want to go back.
it's retroactively kind of more beloved. It was very much a product of its time, though, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those games that you look back fondly on, but like at the same time, it's like I doubt that you'll ever see another game like it.
Yeah.
Like Sims is getting a like a fan like there's that
Oh yeah.
so there's City Skylines, which is basically the fan made successor to SimCity, and the Sims are getting a successor now, which is very interesting. I don't see Spore getting a successor. I feel like this game kind of is.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, especially two. It came out in 2008. I just don't think anyone ever really saw another
It came
market
out in
for it. Or
2008 and they tried to spin off and it bombed miserably and they just
no,
never
yeah, like
again.
clearly, it's. I mean, clearly, people are going for the more, the more traditional Sims game if they're gonna do anything.
Speaking
Not
of
rip
bizarre,
off.
speaking of bizarre spin-offs, do you remember Sims Medieval?
Yes,
Why was that a thing?
I don't know. Sims was doing whatever they could to make
Yeah,
money. I
that
mean,
was such
people
a
would buy it. People would buy it. Put some chamber pots in The Sims. I think that was a thing.
it
I
probably
think that
was.
was because,
Well, I mean, they can't function without a toilet. I mean, that's the funniest thing ever is just getting rid of their toilet and watching them lose their minds.
or removing the ladder from the pool.
Well, that's just mean. Well, no, they can get out in 4.
Oh, they can. That
Yeah,
sucks.
they learned how to get
Put a
out in 4.
fence around it.
I don't think it's hard to drown them now in 4. But
Damn it! What's the point of The Sims if you can't burn them?
okay, Hannibal over here.
Hey, I'm not cannibal.
No, I said Hannibal.
Oh, I thought you said cannibal. Like it's not like I'm eating people. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, that can happen in The Sims.
Ew, that can?
Well, not people on people, but they can get eaten by the cow plant.
That's not cannibalisms. That's cannibalisms.
Oh, whatever. You can also get like devoured by insects. That's probably the most disturbing death in The Sims too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was like this video compilation. I'm so sorry. This is the yawn cast. If you didn't yawn in this podcast, you're gonna soon. I remember that there's compilation videos of just all the deaths from Sims 2 because there were so many ways to just your Sims to die. It was like,
Yep. It's funny because like you going back to Spore, just like I think more people spent time in the creature creator than anything because there's also a separate creature creator app that you can use.
yeah. Well, I feel like it was just so fun, like to make these sometimes abominations. But I mean, even just scrolling through, like so many people made Pokemon. Someone made a cursed Sonic. You can make a minion. You can make so many different things, and it's like so fun.
Lots
Like
of
I'm
penis.
definitely going to make and
Lots
that
of
too.
penis monsters because
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, there probably was too many.
I encountered them when I had like other people's creatures appearing in my world, and let's just say,
Oh, yeah.
oh my!
What the worst part is, because how old were we in 2008?
Well, didn't always have connection to the internet. Remember?
Yeah, but I'm just imagining other people. How old
let's just say
were we? Like 10-year? Well, how many other 10-year-olds were on there and being like, "Mommy, Daddy, what's that? Like, why does that
Alex,
monster look like that?"
the 10-year-olds were making those. What do you think?
Oh,
What are you
true,
saying?
true. All right.
I remember the first time I got into the creature phase, and all I saw was this phallic object flopping towards my character, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Ah.
The best is when you ran into one of your previous abominations that you made, and you were like,
You're
"Oh
like,
no!"
Be gone.
You were like, "Oh, kill it, kill
Yeah,
it."
I always loved when you saw and I feel like that's also what made me end up like playing and playing and playing, playing, playing because eventually your own creatures would pop up and you'd be like, oh, I remember Roberto or I remember Frank, like because I'd always name them really stupid names. I think so, at one point I just started calling them 1, 2, 3, 4. No yawning. Only I'm allowed to yawn. I hit myself in the face doing that.
Good. You deserved it.
No, I don't. I deserve only the best because I am the best sister in the whole world.
I am chaos.
I am
Drugs.
Yeah, just probably no. I'm just tired. I have a tired brain. It's what day is it? What year is it? Where are we? Who are you? What am I doing?
All right. Well, there's not really much other to wrap up on Spore. It was it came and went. It had a good couple year run, and then it fizzled out, and now it's kind of.
But it's still people still play it. I mean, it's still on Steam.
it's getting a bit of a renaissance because people are discovering it thanks to memes and stuff, and
Streaming it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it is a fun game to play, even if it's not amazingly developed by any means.
Yeah.
Um, and it's got that Sims like Maxis charm that just makes it stand out.
Oh, I mean, like that era of the Sims and Sims 2 and like Spore, it was time. Like that was
Sims
such a
2,
good
Spore,
era.
early Sims 3.
It really was. It was really good.
They had console games that were interesting enough and fun.
Yeah.
And of course, the handhelds that we bring up all the time because they're way better than they have any right to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess to wrap it up, any other thing else you want to say on Spore before we finish this, or no? All right. Well, before Alex falls asleep because she's crashing quick.
Yeah, it just hit me out of nowhere. I'm like,
yeah. This has been another Games That Shaped Us, though. And once again, guys, thanks for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast can be found on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. We're now fully available on YouTube.
No.
And you can find all of our links at linktree/thebarbaroogames.
He's lying.
And if you'd like, you can join us over at the GNC Podcast Network Discord server, where you can find Alex posting cursed garbage and you can talk anything GNC, 3DO Experience, Geek Addicts, or talk anime gaming, anything.
And water bottles. We're making a channel just to talk about Aqua in a bottle.
Lovely. But anyways, guys, once again. Okay. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
No, you won't. Not me. I'm going to bed.